Mark out and about from Sunny 95 Radio, WSNY here in Columbus, and I am so pleased to have with us here at the Ohio Department of Insurance the Lieutenant Governor of Ohio, Ms. Mary Taylor. Thank you so much for joining us today.
It's great to be here. Good morning.
And you've had such a busy year, and you do so much with the Ohio Department of Insurance, so thank you for your work on that. Tell me a little bit about your role with it and what you do.
Well, our most important function is consumer protection. And that includes regulating the companies and the agents that sell in the industry to make sure that they're doing everything by the law and that, of course, they're treating their customers correctly. We want to make sure customers are getting the type of insurance that they purchase, and we want to make sure that we are doing our best to combat fraud. Fraud is a huge issue. It is not a victimless crime. When there's fraud in the insurance industry, it impacts every single individual who has any kind of insurance because it increases premiums.
Absolutely. And, you know, you said it really affects all Ohioans and it increases our premiums. But what other things can it do to Ohioans and the other hidden factors that we maybe don't see in our insurance premiums?
Well, and of course, insurance premiums, it's the most significant. But again, when you think of insurance fraud and you think of what the purpose of insurance is, when you think of homeowners, for example, and insurance is there to cover you in some of your most difficult times, a house fire, things like that, car accident. And so when you have fraud, you're obviously requiring everybody to pay more money than is necessary. And fraud is very serious. And of course, the individuals who are perpetrating fraud they have victims, and the victims are all of us. And that's why this is such an important issue for the Department of Insurance.
Mary, what are some of the most common types of insurance fraud that you see here in Ohio?
It's going to be any number of things. But for example, one thing that with storm season and as we come into spring and summer or fall with storms, we certainly are careful to watch out for contractor fraud. So where you have damage or say hail damage on a roof, unfortunately we have contractors out there that are going out and intentionally damaging roofs and trying to turn it as hail damage. We know that we have a great number, vast majority of contractors are not fraudulent and are doing the right thing, but we see a lot of contractor fraud. And so I would just ask everyone to kind of be on alert and be on guard and understand that unfortunately that does exist, especially when you have a big storm roll through. We're going to see that, and we're really trying to get out there and investigate contractor fraud and trying to hold those individuals accountable.
Yeah, especially this season, as you said, it's been so rainy here in Ohio that I'm sure that's just popping up everywhere this season and throughout the year too. But one thing I do want to congratulate you and your department on, I noticed back last month you prosecuted a gentleman out of Cleveland who committed $21,000. He reported $21,000 worth of lost and stolen items, found out that was fraudulent, and you prosecuted him, got 8 months in jail. And so your department has really been on it this year.
Well, thank you. And we are investigators. As we have a group that they are investigators. They work with law enforcement all over the state of Ohio, other investigative type agencies. We work together because obviously it takes a team to identify this type of fraud. And you're right, lost and stolen items is a way to commit insurance fraud. And so we want to make sure those individuals are held accountable. Unfortunately, we also have some cases where we'll have an agent who actually collects premiums from an individual and never report or returns those premiums into the company. And the individual thinks they have insurance, and the insurance company's never written a contract because the agent never turned in the premiums. We've seen that. It doesn't happen a lot, but we have seen that. And so, again, we take this very seriously.
What are some of the tools that I have access to here in Ohio to report insurance fraud, or maybe just get some more information?
Well, you can obviously go to the Department of Insurance's website. You can call our Consumer Services Division to report any type of insurance fraud. We also help people that are having problems with claims, getting claims paid. Again, we have a very robust Consumer Services Division, and we we ask them to work closely with consumers to make sure that they're getting their claims paid for. And if there's fraud, we want to investigate it.
And the website is just terrific. I've been on it. You go to www.insurance.ohio.gov. So www.insurance.ohio.gov. Check it out. Just chock full of information, resources, and even some great press releases of some of the great work you and your offices are doing. Also, there's a phone number. Can't forget that. Toll-free number, 1-800-686-1578. Again, 1-800-686-1578. Any other comments, thoughts, maybe something I haven't touched on that we should be aware of?
We've covered a lot on the fraud, and it's still very important. We've covered the contractor fraud. I really want people to be aware of that. Just for example, when homeowners insurance, going through and cataloging every item in your home, making sure that you know what your property is. And it makes it easier if you have a fire or if you have a loss to be able to report that to the insurance company and to actually submit a claim when you have a loss. So it is really important to inventory all of your items in your home, your personal items that are insured. And I would encourage every Ohioan to do that.
That's a great idea. And again, go to www.insurance.ohio.gov. A lot of great ideas just like that one that you can go on and just investigate, research yourself. I got to ask one more question before you leave. Since we're at the Ohio State Fair, what's one of your favorite aspects of the Ohio State Fair?
The Ohio State Fair. Well, the last couple of years it's been the ice cream because, of course, there's always a great flavor. So I'm looking forward to this year's ice cream. I love the fair. I mean, it's just such a great American thing to do, and the Ohio State Fair is fantastic. And we discussed before we went on, I enjoy the concerts too. So, it's fun to come to the fair, and I love to be a part of this.
Wonderful. Well, again, thank you for joining us here at the Ohio Department of Insurance. You can actually check out the booth here at the Ohio State Fair. Go online, www.insurance.ohio.gov. And of course, the toll-free number again, 1-800-686-1578. Again, thank you so much for joining us, Lieutenant Governor. Appreciate your time.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Now, stick around. We're going to take a break, and we'll be right back, and we're going to meet Michelle Rayfield. She's the Assistant Director of Fraud Enforcement Division of the Ohio Department of Insurance. And we'll also be joined by Joel Demery. He is the Fraud Investigation Supervisor of the Ohio Department of Insurance. So stay tuned. We're just going to take a little break.